Every year.
That's something that's another thing that I
So
learned
you
from.
grew. How much did you grow year over year? Do you know yet?
I've grown, I've tripled my followers this year on Instagram because
Okay,
I was
very
like,
nice. Do you
some,
know your income? Did you track your income? Like, have you had 10% increase in revenue this year? Because I know you've
I've,
been doing
I've had
well.
more than 10%.
Okay, I'd love to
So,
know that number because I'll be using you as a case study, I think for sure. But yeah,
so
and again, we're talking corporate stuff, right? Like, don't tell me again when I'm talking about people paying me $5,000 a month. You can't go to Google and have this conversation about analytics. They're not going to say, "So Donna, what did you make last year? What's your plan?" No, you're getting customized. This is what corporations do. And like you said, Donna, I know you weren't doing this before me and you wouldn't have done it because what small business owner is going to think to look this deep into it? And it doesn't even really have to take long. You just have to know what to do. So I'm super proud of you. So tell
thank
me
you.
about your growth in all areas of business, social media, and revenue because we can social media follows and everything is great, but at the end of the day that we can't take our followers to the bank to pay our mortgage. We need to make money, and all the growth in the free social media stuff is aimed to get you customers to make the money. So tell me about your growth in all areas.
Page, but I wanted to show you when I made that post, I had 16 visits to my site the day I posted it. And then a couple days later, like I told you with it a few days later, like within that time frame,
This is
um,
beautiful.
so one was a newsletter that went out and one was the social media post. But you can see this was from the social media and this was from the newsletter,
Okay.
right? So strategic leads on demand. There we go.
What? What? Where do you
It
get
does
that
it
program?
does
Hook me
it,
up.
it does work though because you can see everything else. It's kind of low, you know?
Good job, Donna.
Um, thanks. And then traffic
Traffic
sources.
sources, yes.
I've had
So
100.
again, this is corporate analytics stuff. So you'll know next year or 2025, we're only focusing on LinkedIn. We're going to spend less time on TikTok. Maybe we'll start. So good for you. So yeah, tell me about these channel sources.
So here you can see like, if they're direct, if people are looking me up, if they're on socials, or through referrals.
Sometimes
Um,
you can find with Google Analytics, you can find out what words people typed in to get to your site. That is sometimes shocking. And the
okay,
places
that's
that
good
they
to know.
come from.
And like
Ooh.
I'm looking at this now, I'm seeing where people are spending the most time,
Oh my God, you make me
right? So
cry.
I know that I brought up my ashwagandha by posting that post about ashwagandha. I brought up the shop page by posting the barcode for shop or like changing my URL in my actual Instagram on my Instagram post, right? So where are you feeding people, right? So all of that matters because if I'm again, learn this from the Kimbe. If I'm trying to get people to, if let's say I was selling glutathione, but I had other products there, all of my URLs that I put in, I'm gonna specifically direct them to the glutathione page because if they get to the homepage and don't see anything about it, chances are they're just gonna leave.
Bounce back, and that's not good for your bounce rate. Google is not going to show your URL to people. It's not going to show up on the first page of the search engine results page if they see people come to your site and they just bounce back. But if they see people come to your site and they hang around for like 5 6 minutes, they're like, oh yeah, we're showing this site to everybody who puts in the search term. So good job. Okay,
Right.
what's the next time we're gonna
In
go?
in particular, why I did it is because
I'm for
here
about
you can see most of my traffic, 78% of my traffic comes from desktop users. So if my barcode is on the desktop, it's not on
yeah,
their phone.
I did that. I scanned your code and it pulled up your site. So it does work that way.
Right. So,
Nice.
but
It's right
most
here.
of my
I see it.
awesome. Right. But most of my customers are doing that too. But the for mobile, there's only 21% of people who aren't doing that. So they're
So
not the
you're
majority.
making strategic decisions based on your
Yes,
analytics, man.
yes.
Cool. And
This is
So
some sexy stuff we're talking about.
okay. So you can see most of my users in terms of browse
You.
don't are not like iPhone is Safari here, or mobile Safari. Safari, this is a desktop. Chrome, this is probably desktop. It says mobile Safari here, you
You
know?
also know when they're visiting because like they're visiting when they're on desktop, so they're likely looking at when they're at work, right?
Right. I don't think that the desktop users are people who are out of touch with social media. I think it's I think it's like middle-aged
Right.
people who use social media and have it on their work computer. Right?
You could make very strategic marketing decisions like a chief marketing officer. Like next year, you can be like, okay, we are marketing on this channel and that channel. We are optimizing our ads for mobile. We're going to take it out on this network. The topics that we're talking, like you can make strategic, effective campaigns that are more likely to convert than just randomly doing everything that you think you're supposed to do. Like the information you have now, you can make really strategic marketing decisions when you are ready to move to paid ads. You're like, we're not advertising on that channel. We're advertising on this channel. We're optimizing for Mac and iPhone users. We have 2 different codes for this, for that. We're going to be using videos, doing this. This is what we're doing in January and February. We're having this QR code, doing this promotion, and it's going to go to that page. And then we're putting out a blog post and a newsletter because we know, statistically speaking, we get like 100 visitors at a 2% conversion rate. You can now talk and make strategic, smart marketing, effective decision, like precise, until you start making enough money where you can get software and analytics and data to do this all. But I don't even think you know the gold mine of information that you went through here today. But do you see now how moving forward you can be like a chief executive, a chief marketing officer? Like, you know more things like, oh, I'm going to post on TikTok. That's not fucking marketing. What you're doing is marketing. This
But I
is
didn't know
real
that.
corporate marketing.
I didn't know that last year though. I didn't
Congratulations.
know which demographic, what I was engaging on what channel. I didn't know any of that stuff. You know, all I knew was I looked at my analytics. I saw how many people came to my site. I saw how high my bounce rate was. And I said, I need to make a change. So I fixed my website and I started posting differently. And I'm still figuring it out because I still need to convert these into paid leads.
Right. Yeah.
I'm getting the leads.
There you go. Yeah, leave it like that and go to, I think it was under traffic somewhere.
Okay, let me see. Hold on, let me try.
Bounce.
Okay, so this is just for today.
Yeah.
If I do, let's say year to date,
This is good stuff.
51.4. But year to date, I've had 1,600 people look at my site,
Nice. Wow.
right? So 54%.
Okay, so remember, you're going to track all this. You're going to write this down in an Excel sheet so that next year at this time you can track growth. Or actually, these things I think can probably track growth. Well, whatever. You want to track growth. That's the
No,
point.
it does track it, but it has like unique visitors. I have over 1,000 unique visitors, right?
Okay.
And then if I do last 30 days for the bounce rate, it's starting to drop.
Nice. Very good. Wow. Good.
So
Wow. And yeah, it's good because now that you know what to look at, you know what to tweak. So you're like, our bounce rate is shit. How do we improve it? And then you do it. So that's really good, babe.